All right, cool. Hey, what's going on, folks? This is Chris at VerrilloTrading. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. This is going to be a new video. We're going to talk about trading platforms and software in today's video. You know what? Never, and I mean ever, on this YouTube channel do we ever use the words best, worst, most awesome, or most or least type of adjectives. We do not use these words when describing software or services because, in general, we understand that most software, most services is not really intended for all customers, okay? You as the customer need to determine if this is right for you or not. This video is not a marketing video. We are not telling you anything about which is the best service. In fact, we are just making our own opinions, our own statements about software. My name is Chris and I operate this channel, VerrilloTrading. If you enjoy these videos, you can easily support the channel by clicking on the first link in the description, which will link you to interactivebrokers.com. So if you find these videos interesting, remember you can click that link and let's get on with this video. So what do I think, honestly, is the best trading software out there right now for retail traders that anybody and their average Joe and their grandma and their grandpa and their best friend's girlfriend can use it? I can tell you that this platform, in my opinion, is Sierra Chart. But there's a big but here. It's that Sierra Chart is not for everybody. If you're not software savvy, if you don't understand what you're doing in trading, if you don't even understand, what operates a market, then Sierra Chart is not for you. Sierra Chart is not a beginner platform. It is a platform for traders that have experience and that know what it is they're developing in their trading, know what it is that they're looking for, and know what it is that they are working towards in their trading. If you do not know what you are doing, if you're an absolute beginner and you don't even know what a candlestick is or what a volume at price is, or what a bid or an offer is, then of course Sierra Chart is not for you. However, you can still reference some basic videos that are on our YouTube channel. So as you guys know, on this channel, we have a lot of tutorials about interactive brokers. That's kind of what we started off doing. And then we kind of diversified into different trading software. By the way, guys, if you enjoyed this content, remember to smash the like button because it helps a lot with the channel and all that, the YouTube algorithms. We will now tell you why we believe that Sierra Chart is the best trading platform we have ever used, and we don't think that this is ever going to change anywhere in this lifetime, actually, unless people develop their own proprietary software to be used only by themselves. The first thing is, it's very efficient and it's very reliable. In my opinion, in my experience, the only way you can break Sierra Chart is when you start playing with custom studies where there's memory allocation things involved. And if you do not know what you are doing in regards to creating custom studies using C++, then there's a chance where you can actually freeze the software. I've done it a couple times, and I know some guys who have done it as well. That's probably the only way you can freeze this software, no joke. I'll show you in my task manager the kind of usage this software has. In my main instance of the software, I only have 2 charts opened, and it is using 0% of my processor. In fact, I'm using most of that right now recording this video, and the browser is using about 1%, which is Opera, which is another good browser that I would recommend any day over Google Chrome. Absolute trash, never use that browser. Okay, so here's Sierra Chart. It's basically using nothing. When the market gets active, you're lucky if you see this above 5%. Definitely go watch my video on Sierra Chart performance optimization. However, I do plan to make an updated version of that video that will be more efficient and that will be an overall better video. I have a second instance running of the software. It is also using no processing power, and in this instance, I have probably around 20 charts or more. And I can open chart books. I'll open a new chart book right now. You can see that the processing power went up there. And that's, of course, normal because it's opening a lot of charts and now loading data. And now it seems that all the data has been loaded in on my side screen right here. And as we can see here now, we have, I'll show you how many charts there are. Windows, and chart books. There are around, 10, 12 charts in that chart book. And in this second chart book here, there's another around maybe 15 or 20 charts. So very efficient. That's bottom line. The second thing we can talk about that is very important for traders, the quality of the market data. Now, this is a big discussion. So I made a video a while back called Retail Trading Industry for Beginners, trying to, outline the different sectors or the different businesses that are involved with how retail traders are able to interact with the markets. You have your big clearing firms, and the clearing firms basically take care of the money and the funds and all that, and the processing and the back end work of all the trades. When it comes to the trading software and the order routing, that is done by different parties, by different third parties. What's really great about Sierra Chart is that they've worked and worked to the point where they are able to offer all of this themselves. So they fully control the market data. They have their own data feeds. They also have their own order routing for the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and they're thinking about also offering that for Eurex and other exchanges, depending upon what their client base is requesting. In certain circumstances, there are companies that offer a trading software, but they are connecting to a third-party software or front end to the exchange. So in reality, you're paying for the software first, and then you're also paying to that third-party provider. So the big issue happens when there starts to arrive problems. When a trader has a technical issue and whatever happened, a trade got executed that you didn't mean to execute, or maybe an order was left in the market, or you didn't know it was canceled, and then you looked at your phone on your mobile app and you're down $170 and you're down $1,000 or whatever, and then you're calling your trade desk. They don't know what the hell's going on because obviously it was a platform side issue and that was sort of associated with your platform and how they have a relationship with the third party that is doing the order routing. That is called a misunderstanding. You know what happens in this scenario? You get one person pointing the finger at the other person, and that's the way it ends up. And you, the customer, Joe Blow, who's trading $1,000 account on NASDAQ futures, guess what? You get fucking burned because you're not gonna get your money back because those people are pointing their fingers elsewhere. This is what I know for sure. With Sierra Chart, when they control, number one, the market data. If there's a problem with the market data, they fix it as soon as possible. You know this, anybody who uses Sierra Chart. You go on their support board, as soon as there's someone posting a ticket on there about Teton order routing issue, that's their order routing service, or Denali Exchange data feed issue, that is what they prioritize in terms of responding to support tickets because they fully control the market data and they fully control the order routing for their service. And they want to ensure that their customers are happy and that they're getting excellent quality service. There's nobody that you can point fingers to other than them. And if they're not providing the good service, then you quit, then you leave them. You get another provider. Doesn't matter. But when you're involved in a scenario where your software is providing a service and then your third-party provider is providing them with data and providing you with order routing, then you get the finger-pointing scenario and it's only problems. That's from what I've learned. That's another reason why I like Sierra Chart, because they fully control all of this stuff. So some of the capabilities of Sierra Chart, well, it's fully tick-by-tick data in terms of US futures, which is very good because you have fully accurate, fully 100% accurate bid volume and ask volume. So if you do any kind of tape reading or, volume at price analysis, you're going to have very precise data for those specific markets that trade on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and on the Eurex as well. Those are the exchanges that are currently offered with the Denali data feed. Actually, they offer the NASDAQ stock market as well, and there is a video for that you can check out. So very accurate, very precise data. If you use volume profile, you definitely want to be using this data feed over other data feeds. Not to bash other data feeds. Rhythmic is very good. CQG is also very good. However, they still have issues sometimes. And there's issues with their historical data providing. CQG has weird limits where they only offer like 30 days of historical data. Maybe you can pay them for more. I really don't know about that. But what I know for sure is that Sierra Chart offers a very low cost for that data. And they give you everything and they're fully in control of it. If there's a problem, you tell them and it's fixed. And actually, there is no problems. If there's a problem, it's so rare. For you guys out there who are sort of tech savvy, very particular or stubborn types, I know the way you guys are, and you will be the type to, as soon as you figure something out, you're going to start nitpicking their support team. In reality, guys, they're going to fix it the next day, most probably. Now, I'm not making promises, but from what I've seen, every time I've seen an issue with something, or every time I've had an issue with anything, and even very detailed things that, the average person, the average Joe who kind of is learning about trading, or even people who have been trading for a long time, these people would not be able to understand what I'm writing to the support team, but I'm able to communicate those ideas to the support team in a clear enough way that they can understand that there was an actual issue and that they can fix that issue immediately because it was clearly explained to them in a message. Some people comment on their support board. I've seen stuff like this where they actually get fake people coming onto their support board and saying your DOM is fucking lagging or your charts are shit or whatever, some bullshit like that. That's normal, okay? People are jealous. Sierra Chart, in my opinion, they offer the best service out there for very low cost as well. It's like $45 or something for the month. No one paid me to make this. I just felt like making it because I felt like I had a mouthful of stuff to talk about when it comes to Sierra Chart. So I guess we can talk about some of the functionality. So we already spoke about the accurate and precise market data, which is very, very important if you're day trading. it's very important if you're swing trading as well. Not to make comparisons, I don't like to pull names out of the hat here, but let's talk about TradingView very quickly. TradingView is a great platform. It's probably one of my favorite other trading platforms. The issue with TradingView is that, well, number one, they offer very good historical data. However, they do not offer tick by tick data. And that means that you cannot have any order flow charts on TradingView. That's the first thing. And their indicators like the volume by price or volume profile, some of you guys out there might think it's accurate. It's not 100% accurate. It is an absolute estimate. You can do the comparisons yourself. I've done the tests and I've seen that TradingView volume profiles are at best an estimate. You are not getting that true tick by tick representation of the session profile and longer term profiles. Like I said, do the test yourself. I still love TradingView. They're a great platform and it's very user friendly. It's all web based. A problem with TradingView now. Let's talk about problems, okay? If you try to log into TradingView at 9:30 in the morning, you're gonna have slowdowns. You're gonna have problems. I've tried it so many freaking times, and also around 4 p.m. and also on certain symbols where everybody's looking at it at once. Like when Bitcoin's crashing 20%, TradingView's fucking frozen. Okay? Guess what? Sierra Chart, they're providing data to each user individually from their servers. It's not a web-based server, I guess. I don't really know the whole technicalities behind it. But basically, the only way that the data can lag with Sierra Chart is if there's a problem on their server side that is providing data to each user individually. And that's about as far as my knowledge goes. Honestly, I focus on having very well optimized chart books. And when I am trading, normally in the early mornings, I do not have any problems with lag, ever. And I mean ever. If it happens, it's very freaking rare, okay? With TradingView, however, if you open that thing at 9:30 a.m. and you try to load, for example, S&P futures or the SPY, you're going to get some lags. And maybe you guys who experienced that can also comment that down below. Again, nothing against TradingView. It's a very convenient platform. It's actually, quite a good looking platform as well. It's easy on the eyes and they actually do support a lot of brokers. As you guys see at the top of my screen here, let's go on here. You can see here what this is. These are actually, programming concepts that are associated with Sierra Chart. Another awesome thing about Sierra Chart, and going into the deep rabbit hole of what Sierra Chart offers to its customers, it's that you can build custom indicators and automated trading strategies. And it's not that hard, honestly. I knew nothing about programming, and I mean nothing, guys, prior to, learning a bit of how to make some custom studies, watching a couple coders do a few things. And I'm at the point now where I've actually made a couple of my own custom studies. They're very simple, right? But I've still, developed an understanding for this. And what's good about this is it really helps you develop and become a better trader because, the clearly you are able to understand what it is you are doing in your trading, the easier it is going to be to execute it. So if you learn how to tell a program how to, do something, then you're going to be able to do it damn well because you're able to quantify it, that precisely. And of course, markets are not that rigid, right? I don't want you guys to think that way. And that was a good point that Fat Cat made in that last video about order flow, which is that order flow is not something very rigid. The markets are not operating in a rigid manner. That's why technical analysis is fundamentally flawed because people use technical analysis to find patterns in the chaos of markets, but the market moves in a way that is in a way very organic and it kind of ebbs and flows and it breathes and does whatever it does. And it's up to the trader to adapt to that, right? So you can be a maximum quant, but you also have to understand that no matter what system you develop, you have to be able to kind of adapt it to what the market is doing. That's as well as I can explain it anyways. But, in regards to the volatility, in regards to the pace of the volume, how the market's trading, the ebbs and the flows of the order flow and all of that, it changes. You cannot be rigid with it. I went on a tangent. That's fine. So this is another great question, which is that does Sierra Chart have any weaknesses to it? And of course, in a video where I talk about Sierra Chart, I'm going to talk about if it has any weaknesses to it. If I'm going to point out weaknesses on other software, I may as well point out the weaknesses here too. There's not many of them, I got to tell you that much. But one of them is that study calculations are still being done on the primary thread of the software. That is one of the biggest weaknesses according to the lead engineer. The second thing is that, from the perspective of someone who is not software savvy, it can be overwhelming. You should reference many tutorial videos, great tutorial videos. I have a playlist of tutorials you can reference. And Generally, you want to talk with users of the software who already have established settings and who have knowledge about the software. This is going to really help you in your learning curve. So it can be overwhelming if you're a beginner, and of course the bottom line is that you really don't need to be using Sierra Chart unless you have a specific reason to be using it, and that is where you're at in your trading. Another weakness with Sierra Chart is that it was originally intended for futures trading, so you can get into scenarios now, since they support stock market data, tick by tick data. You can place volume by price or numbers bars studies, which is like a footprint chart study. This is the numbers bars right here for anyone that doesn't know. You can use these indicators on stocks, and even more specifically, high price stocks that have very small tick increments. And I noticed that when you do that, that can slow down the software. So what you need to do in that case is optimize the chart for that specific symbol. And normally what you'll do first is you will lower or change the tick size of the chart, or you will change the volume by price multiplier on the chart so that your volume by price is not showing the data at every single tick, because it doesn't make sense to do that on a market that ticks in a 1 penny increment, but the price of the stock is $1,000, like Tesla or Amazon, for example. Other than that, there's no other weaknesses we found. One other thing you should know is that all the market data processing is done on a separate thread on the software. So I don't really know the technicalities of how to explain that, but the market data processing is not being done on the primary thread, okay? When software breaks, I go nuts. Sierra Chart doesn't break, therefore me happy. All right, let's take some time and look through some of the charts we have here on our screen. Okay, so what we have here is our main instance of the software. I've minimized other things in the software. This quote board is coming from the second instance as well, and I will minimize that as well. So what we have here actually is just 2 charts and 2 time and sales that go with those charts. Now, what is interesting about these charts is that, as you can see, there is a depth of market here in the center of the screen, and actually we can use this to place orders and manage our existing orders, right? And move our orders, or do basically, anything. And I mean anything. I'm not exaggerating with that, by the way. I'll full screen the chart just to show you. I can also full screen it there if you really want. This is a 1 minute chart. This volume by price, these bars here is basically the volume by price from the session basis. But actually, have it set so it resets at midnight Eastern time. I will actually go ahead and show my order fills from earlier this morning. We can see all of our order fills. And so I can actually go onto the chart and, see my trades that I took, at what time I took them. And of course I can review that and see all my trades in the trade activity log as well. And it shows you all the details associated with your trades and everything. And you can also export that to an Excel file. So here's an example of one chart that I use. This is basically my execution chart, and I'll show you what indicators are on it. Basically, these are all trading studies. So this is a study that I use for automated order execution. This is a volume profile. This is this thing that automatically sets a value in my trading window, which is part of the automation process. This is another study that what it does is it puts a study value into another study input. It was kind of just like a thing that I needed to do a long time ago. And this is also a custom study, and this is also a custom study that makes the price column thinner. So that's basically my execution chart. Now this can work on just about any market. For example, if I open up a different chart book where we can see, for example, now we're on the E-mini S&P 500 futures here. And we can see our 1 minute chart for the same thing. And that is it. So I'm actually scrolling up and down the chart. There's full scroll wheel support here. And I can scroll the chart back and forth as well, which is an interesting thing we can do. The scale range is also fully adjustable, which is also one of the greatest features they have. Another great thing about Sierra Chart is these new settings windows, which can be opened while you're interacting with other areas of the software and interacting with other charts. This is really good for when you're configuring certain things, and they're just also very quick, and you can also change the user interface behavior of the settings windows, which is, I doubt you'll find that in any software. So yeah. In our second instance, we've brought up a couple other charts. So for example, these 2 footprint charts are just for reference, and what we are doing with these charts is we are showing volume by price data, but really all we're concerned with is sort of the most recent data. When you're looking at a market in real time, you're really mostly concerned with what's going on right now. But again, it depends on what you're doing. So I use these footprints as a way to reference volume by price data in the case that I haven't been paying attention for the last, 30 seconds to a minute. And also, you can see there's an overlay here. These overlays are based on a certain group of studies that I've created that help me to get a reference for the average amount of volatility in the marketplace based upon a certain amount of price action that has occurred. Not all price action is indicative of future action, but under certain market conditions, it could be said that there is sort of an average amount to the ebbs and flows of the marketplace. So we use this as sort of like a custom way of measuring the average volatility. And of course, I want to remind you guys, the markets don't operate, based on, very rigid parameters. So of course, this is a rigid parameter because we are taking a data set and sort of spitting out or deriving values from that data set, and then we are using those data sets to reference and base our trade locations on. But of course, there are other factors that are involved with that, like, good locations in the volume profile or areas of supply and demand. And that adds confluence to our trading decisions and trading locations. So for example, on this footprint chart, actually, this footprint chart was a template from a friend of ours, a trader named Frozen Tundra Trader. Check out his YouTube channel. And he's actually an excellent programmer, and he's helped me, do a lot of crazy stuff with Sierra Chart recently. So that's pretty cool. So here's his template for the footprint. And, really, all it tells you is, how much volume per price and where the most volume was and where the market went and, how it traded and all of that. It's not really telling you about where your next trade is going to be. What it is telling you about is, the market context and how it's been trading and where the volume has been traded. But again, does that help you in your trading? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I use it in the case that I have not been paying attention to the real-time price action. So I'll actually switch that over to the S&P 500. So here's the same exact footprint, but this one is actually on the S&P futures, and you can see that we have the same overlay there as well on this footprint chart. So on the bottom here, this is a study in Sierra Chart that is called the numbers bars calculated values. In this study, you can show just about anything that is involved with volume by price data. You can show delta, you can show volume, you can show the duration of a bar. Those are the three things that are displayed here at the bottom. For this chart, because we're displaying a point and figure chart, this is not a time-based chart. At the bottom, I've displayed the bar duration just to remind myself how long it's been since the market has created a new bar, because there are scenarios like in this case where you can see this bar has been here for 26 minutes, because the way this bar period works is that it only creates a new bar after the market has reversed by the amount you set in here. In this case, when the market reverses 10 ticks off of a high, it will start a new bar. And you can change that to anything you like. Okay, we just found that 10 was an appropriate setting based upon this market that we looked at here. Okay, so that's that chart. And you can see here at the bottom of our screen, this is another way that we use to sort of read time and sales. It's another way of sort of segmenting that data. And I'll just kind of briefly show you. So for example, here, what we have is a 15-second chart, and the graph for this chart is hidden away, and all we are showing is the numbers bars calculated values study here. And what this is basically showing us here is the volume and the ask volume minus bid volume, which is the delta, every 15 seconds here. Okay, so basically this is showing you the same data that is taking place on the time and sales, but it is being aggregated. So you're seeing, bigger numbers. You're seeing, for example, right here, in this 15-second bar, we had a minus 267, and the volume was 403 contracts. In this case, 275 contracts, 231 of those were traded on the bid. It's just another way of reading the tape. So we have the time and sales over here on the left, and you can also read the time and sales on the inside market columns of your depth of market as well. So the majority of my trading is based upon the volatility ranges. That is also in conjunction with supply and demand zones and volume profile areas. That is sort of the basis of my entire trading. So let's go on to the other chart book, and we can look at some historical charts. So on these charts, for example, you can see there's 6 charts here. What's really another cool feature about Sierra Chart is that, for example, you can have, let's say you had, I don't know, 6 charts or 8 charts or 10 charts or maybe even, 20 charts. Let's say you wanted to organize them in a very specific way, and you did not want to spend an hour placing each chart, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. It's actually been done in their software where you can tile them automatically using these functions right here. Tile as grid horizontally and vertically. And you select how many rows and how many columns in the global settings category here. So we're going to go to global settings, general settings, and then we go over to Windows. At the bottom here, rows count and columns count. In this case, we have 2 rows, 1, 2 rows of charts, and 3 columns, 1 column, 2 column, 3 column. And then what we've done is we go to Window, then Windows and Chart Books, and we organize the charts in the correct order here. So as you can see here, the first chart on the top left is ES 15 minute, followed by ZT, followed by ZF, followed by ZN daily chart, which is a daily chart that we use to switch between multiple symbols. That is also supported, followed by ZB, followed by ZN 15 minute. And the rest of these charts are mostly hidden away or unattached and are being displayed on our other monitor. And then what you do when everything is sort of, in the right order is you go ahead and you go to Window, Tile as Grid vertically or horizontally, whichever one is appropriate to you, and it will automatically place all of your charts in the order that you put them in, which saves you so much freaking time. Another thing is it's totally supported to link your charts in various things like their bar periods. Like for example, if I go over to this chart, and if I just start scrolling between the chart, sorry, actually I didn't link that, but look, I've linked the bar spacing. So if I zoom out the chart, it will zoom out the other one as well. You can also link studies on a chart. You can also save groups of studies and then apply them to any charts as you wish. It's just a very good software. Now, just to finish off this video, I just want to show you as well the kind of detail that you will find on SierraChart.com. They have documented literally every aspect of what they offer in this software. They have help topics. Look how many help topics they have. Maybe I'm in the way there, but it doesn't matter. There are 86 help topics about frequently asked questions, and I can guarantee you that each one of these has an extreme amount of detail when it comes to solving certain problems that are relating to certain trading indicators or trading things in the software. Okay. On top of that, if we go into their table of contents, you can see that everything is documented and organized very well. They provide clear and concise documentation for just about everything that exists in their software, including they even document their custom programming language, which is in this case Advanced Custom Study System Interface and Language. Guess what? You go to documentation, they have a video library, guys, where they actually create videos for their users to become more proficient in their software. That's all I got to tell you, and thank you guys for watching, and check out Sierra Chart, but only if you're ready to deal with software configuration, which probably you guys are not, so it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to make this video for fun. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.